It's the Writers Not Biters Writers Room, and we are here to do a review on Us, the movie by Jordan Peele. I'm T Parks.
I'm Toy.
I'm KB.
I'm Eli.
I'm Kev.
And boy, do we got some shit to talk about, yo. So, going down, starting with Kayla, like, how did you feel about Us? Like, what did you leave with? What was that emotion?
First of all, I do not like horror films, so I was a little tense leaving the movie. Like, my anxiety was hella high. I was like, oh shit. And I actually had a dream about Lupita last night. No shit. I was kind of scared.
Slow down, y'all. Slow down, she tripping.
I had to put the cover over my head like there's somebody in my
she tripping.
room. I'm scared.
Dang.
But yeah, the movie, I feel like it was a really good film. It was really deep, and it had a lot of hidden messages in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Leaving, my brain was everywhere. I couldn't go to sleep. My mind was trying to process everything, million miles an hour. I'm like, what did this mean? What did that mean? Did I miss something? I know I paid attention, but like Kayla, I don't usually go see horror movies, but because I went to go see Get Out, I realized it may not be as crazy as it is portrayed. So I'm like, let me still go, and I'm definitely going to how do you say promote Jordan and support him based on what he's doing for our community.
Yeah. So I'ma just say this. Look, it left me like, okay.
Girl, you 10 shades of confusing.
I was.
You was asking all the questions.
I really was, because here's the thing. When I first saw it, when he first dropped the trailer, that was even big on December 25th on Christmas last year. He dropped the trailer and everybody was talking about it on Instagram. Like the arts and shit started coming up. And it was really, really dope. But when I saw the shit, I was like, I got answers. I got questions, and I got answers for other questions that's gonna lead to a question. And I went there looking for some shit. I was like, okay, what are they saying? So then when I'm watching it, the whole time I'm like, damn, okay.
Whole time.
I low-key feel what they saying. Ooh, duality. Oh, shit. Who the bad one? Is it really bad? I don't know. And it was just a lot of emotions, and I was like, I'm still looking for answers. And then when the shit ended, I sat there like this. Because there was a lot of other people around me.
Yeah.
Like, when a lot of niggas was like, you know what I'm saying? So as I sat like this, I pondered, and I was like, am I us?
Girl, don't listen.
Hell no.
But Eli, take
how
off.
you said slick.
But you slide back over to Kayla.
Because for me, I was confused the whole time after the movie. So while all y'all was jumping into the conversation, I was just still like, this shit crazy. Still processing, because I thought
Eli
I knew
fell
what was
asleep,
going
y'all.
on. Get the hell out of there.
What type of nigga?
I ain't falling asleep, but I was just like,
Nigga, that
just
was
really trying
homework.
to see what was going on. Like, all right, and then the end, which I know we're gonna talk about when we get in the review, but it messed up my mind, so I had to process it for like a day or so.
Yeah, me and Toy was looking at each other like, bruh, what just happened?
Right.
What just went out? You know what I'm saying? I was confused. I had some answers, in my mind. I was, speculating, but at the end of the day, I was like, okay. I was just saving everything for this, because I was like, we gonna dive in, we gonna talk about it. So I'm gonna just take mental notes, write little stuff down in the head, keep it from there. Everybody basically said mostly what I was thinking anyway, so we just gonna keep it flowing from there.
Yeah. At the beginning of the movie, the opening credits with the rabbits, I was sitting there counting the damn rabbits. I'm like, okay, he on this scene for too damn long.
A lot of the rabbits were doing some of the same things.
For this to not be significant.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is a white rabbit, and this one looked like this rabbit, and it's a brown rabbit. Okay,
That's
maybe
what
it's
I
not a
said.
rabbit.
I was like, all right, it's different rabbits. Okay, so somebody know something. Like, I was like,
We were thinking about how the government did clones in the 80s, because that was around the time that it literally jumped off in the 80s. So it was like, okay, the government definitely was doing cloning, and rabbits were one of the first animals to be reproduced. So it definitely was a message.
Yeah.
What threw me off was when we saw the white family, and they were also in the red jumpsuits, because from the the previews,
trailer,
you thought it was just the black family was replicated,
I was gonna
and
talk
then you
about
see
that.
everybody was
Good
replicated. I'm like,
credit,
okay, this is not what
No,
I
we
thought
saw
it
the
was
white
about to
family
be.
was
It's
replicated.
a
Then they showed
collective.
them on television.
Yeah.
They said if anybody
Yeah.
turned on the news, and then all of a sudden, bam, oh, it's everywhere. It's all across America.
Yeah.
But
And that son's smarter than people give him credit for, because he
Yeah.
was the one catching on and saying things, throwing little nuggets out there that people was like, oh.
I got a theory behind that little boy. I got a theory behind that little
So
boy.
you know what?
But let's
You know
get
what?
into the agenda. Let's get into the agenda. You got an outline. Let's roll with the bullet points. Because we can keep going.
I didn't really necessarily have an outline, but one of the things we was going to talk about was the sun. That was definitely one of them. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I want to start with this right here. This was something that Jordan said in the interview, and I want to quote this from my guy because reading this made me put the movie in a different perspective when he did that. So he starts out saying, we are our own worst enemy, not just as individuals, but more importantly as a group, as a family, as a society, and as a world, as our world, basically. We are afraid of the shadowy, mysterious other that's going to come and kill us and take our jobs and do whatever. Change, baby. But what we're really afraid of is this thing we're suppressing, our sin, our guilt, our contribution to our own demise. No one's taking responsibility for where we're at, where we're going. You know, blaming ourselves for our part in the problems and the situations of the world is something that he's not seeing. Okay. So that's what he said. So
we create our own problems.
Yeah. So going into that, you know, what I took from that was, because we were talking about this yesterday when Toe was like, you're being too literal, and I was like, I can't help it but be literal, because in the beginning of the movie he talked about, you know, the beginning of the movie talked about the tunnels underground, where basically where the clones were, you know, and in my mind it's like, okay, they're clone rabbits, but who did this?
And I wasn't telling you not to be literal, but you also have to step back and say, all right, not just why is this cup white and why did I move it to the right, but look at the bigger picture. Why do we even have? Why did this situation occur? And what message is he really trying to tell us? So that's true. So I was telling you, step back away from that and also look at the bigger picture when we were discussing certain things in lobby.
But see, the thing is, when I read this though, it made a little more sense to me, because when he kept saying we did this, we did this. So and then you also look at the other things where he's talking about us. He's not just saying black people. He's talking about everybody. So us is also a representation of U.S. Because you remember in the movie when he was like, who are you? We're Americans. So it's like, in my mind, it's still like America still created these clones, and this is their way of getting back at us. But that was me from, you know, reading the little passage from the guy Jordan Peele. But yeah, I just want y'all to touch on that topic now that y'all understand, now that y'all have heard what he said.
I think it's interesting because one of the main things that we talked about after the movie, and something that I thought about a lot, was that we saw it as a duality of personalities and how you feel about yourself. So I think we kind of thought of it really individualistic, because for me, her having a clone that was like underground, I thought of it as like, okay, you think they're savages, but really that's you still. And for them, you know, it's like we're acting like this because, you know, y'all put us down here. So there's like a means to why we're acting like this, you know what I'm saying? But when I hear his interview, it's almost like we're also like, we like to blame other people, period, about stuff. So it's an interesting take when I hear his interview.
So I want to bring up the Jeremiah 11:11, because they kind of like stuck with me a lot. So it says, I will bring on them a disaster they cannot escape. Although they cry out to me, I will not listen to them. So when you think about the clones and you think about the doppelgangers, how would they operate? They were operated by mind. Your mind literally creates whatever your reality is to be. And so when you take that and you realize, like, that's what we were talking about in the car last night. We were sitting in White Castle. We was like, shit, but I personally feel like that's how we would. And it was just like, we can't escape a reality that we created, because we were assimilated in it. We create our own problems. And the reason why that stuck with me so much, the reason why, even before I knew that Adelaide was the fake Adelaide and then Red was the real Adelaide, you know what I'm saying, I still understood both ends, because it was like a part of her wanted to live that life, but a part of her also stifled in some ways because she wasn't true to herself. Because honestly, I was looking at both of them when they battled. What was the real conflict? So let's go. So let's go back, and then get to that point. So let's go literally like in an order. You know, at the very beginning when they were in the doctor's office and you saw the mother and the father, like when she legit said, "My daughter will not speak." We were thinking to ourselves, "Oh my gosh, she was hurt that bad." But then it switched to the end, and she said, "I ran so hard and I got out of there." So it's like, okay, you just saw her, but you stopped speaking because of it. Something else happened.